The price of oil has gone ballistic. I know you've seen it. You go to the pump, it scares you half to death. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. My name is David Gutierrez, and what I am here to do is explain what's happening with the oil situation. It's very complicated, but I'm going to make it real easy. We're going to look at the prices, obviously. You can see them right here. We're going to look at the timeline, and we are going to discuss what's happening so that you know everything, okay? No jargon, none of that nonsense. Let's begin. The price of oil, by the time you watch this video, who knows where it's at. But I can tell you one thing, it's that it has been volatile. This has been volatile for people inside of the industry. Of course, people invested in oil, but everyone else. Why do we have to concern ourselves with oil other than with gasoline, right? Because that's the first thing people think of. They're thinking oil, high price at the pump. Yeah, I get it. But what about plastics? What about all the other petrochemical products? What about the fact that this area produces a lot of the world's fertilizer? You don't have fertilizer, you don't have food. So now you don't have reasonably priced food. Now you don't have plastics, which are in everything now, and those costs have gone up already. Okay, 20% higher, I believe the number is, for plastic products, and that's the raw material. Okay, because many things go into what a product is made out of, but if that raw material is going to be 20% more, of course that's going to have an impact. You got to understand what's happening with shipping. Shipping is a big concern, not just in the Strait of Hormuz, but in other places too. It's actually having an effect everywhere. Suez Canal is a problem. Even with these negotiations that are going on, nothing is sticking. That's the big deal. And I've talked about this over and over and over again. I know maybe I've brought it up on the videos, but definitely on the Finance Friday, we've got to watch out because all of these things are unraveling. Now, what's happening? A lot. You can look at a deal that was brokered by Pakistan, and Pakistan basically said, look, we're going to make these two sides just calm down. Everything needs to calm down. Iran has a 10-point plan, and this is the place where they're going to start their negotiations. Within a few hours, it seemed like every side had violated everything. All right? At least that's what I saw. We don't know. He said, she said, right? So you could see that the United States wants to be able to get all of the uranium out of Iran. This is very important. It went back to what was happening a few years ago. There was a lot of misinformation. I think you got to understand something. Tons of misinformation about the previous deal that they had. The nuclear deal was a solid deal. Now you got to, of course, make the side enforce that. It has to be kept. The promises need to be kept. And that's always a problem with any of these. But the point is that they have to look at what they're doing. This is part of the plan, that they want to be able to look at what they're doing. They want to get the nuclear, all of their abilities out of the country. So that means dismantling it. If you remember, years ago, Russia said, we will take it all, we will refine it, and we could send it back. Let us do that. And the US basically said, no, we're getting out of this deal. It's gone. So Russia made that offer that they would enrich it to, I believe it was 3%, which is, for nuclear power. They said, we'll enrich it at 3%. We'll send it back in. So they don't need a refining capability. That's what I'm trying to say to you. They could eliminate the refining capability of Iran. Russia does the refinement, sends it back in. There you go. Now they have refined uranium at the appropriate level. It's another country. Yes, they're friendly with Iran, but this is what they'll do. That was rejected and that deal was ripped up. Not that you don't hear that talked about. All right. So now what we have is a ceasefire agreement, and they violated this thing right away. Also, you had Israel hitting Lebanon, and then Israel basically said, no, we're not hitting Lebanon, we're hitting Hezbollah, so it's okay. Iran basically said, hey, hold on a second, we want all of the fighting to stop, we'll reopen the strait. That's our side of the deal. Strait gets opened up, but no more fighting. Okay, because that's the big thing about what happened in previous cycles, that they're just getting hammered. Their nuclear scientists are getting killed. They're killing their top generals. They basically want to say, okay, we'll do this, but no more attacks. That's it. I don't know if they're going to go for it, and that's part of the issue. So this was the statement on the violation of the three key clauses of the 10-point proposal. And they basically said non-compliance in the first clause. This is with Lebanon. They want the attacks on Lebanon to stop. Number two, an entry of an intruding drone in Iran airspace. And number three, the enrichment. They want to be able to enrich. So we had a plan before, or at least Russia made that offer. There was a plan before. They can get rid of the enrichment, someone else will do it, and then they can have that. Not happening now. Now they want enrichment. Now, how high they want to enrich that, if it's at the, for nuclear power, it could be a very low amount, but what they don't want is the ability to get that any higher. The US has said, no, we want nothing, no enrichment at all. So this is going to be a very hot topic over the next few days. This is part of it, okay? This is the timeline. And you could see March 21st threatens to attack Iran's power plants if the Strait of Hormuz is not open within 24 hours, a 5-day pause on the power plant attacks. This is March 23rd, 26th, extends it for an additional 10 days. Now we get the 48-hour is left. And then the power plant and bridge day, we had that, and it goes on. The whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. That was April 7th. Then we get a ceasefire, positivity. This is progress. We need this not only to calm down the oil markets and the, everything else. No, we need this for absolute peace, because if this thing keeps going back and forth, guess what? There is a high risk of an actual thermonuclear war. Maybe just tactical nukes, but then the other side says, hey, we're going to light it up. We're going to do that too. And this is an absolute mess. So that's what's happening at this time. And what we need to see over the next little while is to go back to a ceasefire agreement. What I've learned about previous ceasefire agreements is that they're consistently violated. We have seen this in basically everywhere, in every major confrontation. There's not like they have a ceasefire and then, it gets resolved really fast. It's not. It's back and forth. And, they want to hit certain things. They say, no, we got to hit that and that because, this special thing, and let's get away with it. We can do that. And that's the way it is, like someone getting the last punch. We want this to all calm down, everything to get back to normal, because this is bad news for everyone. We need the strait to reopen. What it looks like after, though, that's the big concern. What does this mean for everybody else? Like around the world, everyone is being impacted by this. I don't think people realize it. It also helps certain circumstances where if you're just, imagine this, the United States is in basically every country, and they need to have what happened with Rome, right? They were spread so thin. And because they were spread so thin, this allowed them to be weakened. And there's many reasons why Rome fell, but that's one of them. And we don't want the same thing to happen if you want that empire to be maintained. Then we look at what's happening with the other countries out there, and that's a whole topic for another day. But you don't want to spread yourself so thin and you get involved everywhere and you think you can do it. Rome thought they could do it too. It's a big mistake to try and do all of the things that they've done before. We saw Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria. Should we go on? Right. Look, this was, I can show you this first. Some very cool details, which I get from my Whisper network. So this comes from various sources, which is available at themoneygps.com, and it's actually pretty cool. I just want to show you the graphic here that I created. You could see this if I click if I click off and then I click back on, look at that. It just looks really cool. I wanted to show you that. And basically this gives us some information about what is happening. You know, with it could be anything really, but you can actually narrow this down to the different regions, and you'll see things about, you know, different groups hacking here and what has happened in different places right here. Just looking at this, by the way, is actually news before it's news. That's why this feature exists, as the Whisper network, coming from different places. Like, for example, if Russia and Ukraine are fighting and Russia does something, they are actually communicating via Telegram in many cases. They have these channels open, so the information will pop up on that first, and I pick it up through the Whisper network and bring it into the app. But anyway, you could see things like this: 50 military targets located on Karg Island off the Iranian coast. They were hit. That information came out. That was on the 7th when that information was pulled, and on and on and on. You can see there's all dated. But anyway, we can look at the deepest levels of intel here and understand that this is going to escalate unless there's a real hard no, that's it, we're done, no more fighting. We need to see that literally in the next few days, or else it's just going to continue to escalate and get worse. We want to see many players at the table because there's a lot of stakeholders here, and I'm hoping for peace. We don't need another senseless war. I thought we learned the lesson with Iraq, Afghanistan, and so on. New section is coming to themoneygps.com for free, and that is themoneygps.com/articles. I'm doing these here. The articles that are there, you know, these are not the best. I'm working on them now, but this is kind of just to put something in there. Just wanted to show it to you while it's a work in progress. And this here will be a place for articles that are about the news, and it will cover financial education. So it's going to be like evergreen stuff, and there's going to be news stuff as well. So you could see the different sections that are available in here. So you could look at it like a news feed, or you can see all of the content that's in there, all sort of organized. I try to make it like a news website, very simple layout, so people can get news if they would like. I hope you found this information useful. Hit that thumbs up to support this channel. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section. It's very important that I hear from you, okay? I built 17 different features into themoneygps.com, and most of that was just from my head, but anytime I get feedback from people, new features come. Articles, you know, free stuff. I'm trying to give as much free stuff as I possibly can. Paid stuff for the people who are in the members. You know, I hope you'll check it out. I want to know that, you know, you're there, and just any feedback you can give, it's appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.